Yogah Karmasu Kaushalam.
Namaskar friends, myself Professor Dr. Preeti Mayani from HRDC Gujarat University. I would like to welcome you all in this Guru Dakshata program. We have a wonderful personality with us, Dr. Neelam Panchal. She is a very good friend of HRDC and she is also our colleague of Gujarat University. She has completed her DLET in Management, PhD, MPhil and MBA with gold medal. She is working as an associate professor in BK School of Business Management, Gujarat University. During the course of her career in academics, she completed the faculty development program in management from the prestigious Indian Institute of Management, Ahmedabad. She has also completed the specialized faculty development program in research at IIM Ahmedabad. Prior to joining Gujarat University, Dr. Neelam has worked as a full-time faculty at Institute of Management, Nirma University. She has over 18 years of academic and industry experience. She has completed teaching assignments with various reputed institutes like Management Development Institute, Murshidabad, Calcutta, Institute of Management, Nirma University, Ahmedabad, PG Diploma in Finance Program in Manipur, Institute of Technology, Nirma University, Ahmedabad, Knowledge Consortium of Gujarat, KCG, Ahmedabad, Center for Entrepreneurship and Skill Development, Manipur University, Narmada College of Science and Commerce, Narmada College of Campus Bharuch, then GNFC Bharuch, and of course HRDC Gujarat University. She has attended various management teachers program and FDPs at IIM Bangalore, IIM Indore, IIM Noida, MDI Goregaon. She has published more than 100 research articles in referred national and international academic journals, book, chapters and cases, presented papers in many national and international conferences, and authored and edited more than 15 books. She has been awarded Merit Certificate by Education Department, Government of Gujarat in recognition of meritorious score in Gujarat. She is a recipient of various awards and prizes for best research papers, best performer and best teacher. She is acting as a chairman of Indian Society for Training and Development, Ahmedabad chapter. She was acting as vice chairman of ISTD, Ahmedabad chapter till date. She is passionate about teaching, research, training, and has been engaging in industrial and organizational through coaching, training, learning, and development. She has taught courses at MDI. She is coordinator of postgraduate diploma program in finance management for the Management Academy, Gujarat University. Dr. Neelam started FMDP cell in the Gujarat University and has been conducting management development programs for middle level executives, faculty development program for the management faculties and student development programs of management. Besides, Dr. Panchal has delivered many invited keynote speeches and talks in international and national level conferences, seminar, training programs across the nation. She has conducted employee development, management development, faculty development, and women development programs for executives and middle level managers of different organizations like Kohler India, PI Industries, Classic Hotels, Jindal Industries, Babina Diagnostics, Asian Paints Limited, to name a few. She has been the convener of the first, second, and third youth summits at national and international levels in the Gujarat University. She has developed MOOCs and e-content modules under UGC HRDC on various subjects of economics, commerce, and management, which is part of Swayam Prabha DTH channel devoted to telecasting of high quality educational programs. She has published more than 100 research papers, more than 20 books, and developed more than 100 e-content modules and 5 MOOCs on various subjects under Swayam platform of HRDC. So friends, I would like to welcome Dr. Neelam Panchal to deliver her lecture, and I'm sure that it would be very fruitful for all of us. So please welcome Dr. Neelam Panchal.
Thank you so much, Team UGC HRDC, for inviting me for this session. Today, we are going to look into the strategic planning process. Friends, strategic planning is a collective institution or organization-wide process for developing creative initiatives that channel resources to fulfill the institution's mission and take maximum advantage of the trends in the external and internal environment. So, in fact, when we are saying strategic planning, we know that we need to look into the organization wide processes for developing creative initiatives, the new initiatives that are necessary for the success of the organization. And so, when we are talking about strategic planning, the first and foremost thing that is coming into the picture is institution's mission and the vision and the objectives of the enterprise. Friends, we know that strategic planning focuses upon the major part of the organization, such as division, department, or other major function such as teaching or doing research. So, depending upon the type of the sector or type of organization in which you are falling into, the process of strategic planning changes. So, strategic planning process, as the name suggests, it is divided into various stages, and this stages includes different parts, and that is including promising through environment scanning. Second is purpose setting, envisioning, and missioning. Third is a policy formulation. Fourth is a priority setting and phasing. Fifth is a practical reforms, that is structure, staff, cycles, styles, and systems. Next is projection cost. And the last is procedure for monitoring and assessment. Friends, strategic formulation, as we have discussed in one of the class, that strategic formulation includes ADA approach, or it is also called ADA framework. So this part is showing strategic planning cycle, which is talking about these are the main areas where it would focus upon. Say, for example, propose mission, propose goals, examine internal users and the internal issues, examine external issues, create a SWOT analysis, formulate a strategy. So, when you are talking about strategic planning cycle, it start with the mission, the goals, the objectives, the internal and external analysis, and then creating a SWOT analysis. We would discuss SWOT analysis in detail, and then you do the formulation of the strategy. So there is a framework called ADA framework. Now, what is this ADA framework? ADA framework here refers to: A is for strategic analysis, D is for strategy direction setting, and A again is for strategic action planning. So, Let us try to understand one after the other. First is strategic analysis in ADA framework. So when we are saying strategic analysis, this activity includes conducting some sort of scan or review of organization's environment. For example, political, social, economical, and a technical environment. What we are trying to do is some sort of environment analysis companies are doing, or even the sectors are doing, or even the universities are doing. So, planners carefully consider various driving forces in the environment. For example, they look into the competition, whether there is increase in the competition or decrease in the competition. What are the changes in the demographic situation? Demographic factors such as, age, gender, education, occupation. What are the changes that are happening in the environment? We need to understand before developing a strategy, right? Why? Because, say for example, if you want to launch a new course in your university, okay, and you want to strategize for this year or maybe the next 5 years. So in that case, what you would do is you would try to look into what are the new upcoming areas, what are the areas in which people may be interested, what are the challenges that are coming up, what are the offered by the competitors. Somewhere or the other way you would try to do the external analysis, okay, and then planners also look at the various strengths, weaknesses, opportunities and threats, which is known as SWOT analysis. So here SWOT, where S refers to the strength, W refers to the weaknesses, O refers to the opportunities, and T refers to the threats. So, what happens is the educational institutions or even any institution, before establishing a strategy, they do the SWOT analysis. Second stage here is D, that is direction. So it is called setting strategic direction. So what happens is generally planners, they carefully try to analyze and try to do the situation analysis. Once they do the situation analysis, they are trying to find out what are the actual results of the situation analysis. We know that goals should be designed and worded as much as possible. You better know there is a term called a smarter goal, or on the other hand, smart goal. What do you mean by that? Right? The goals should be S, that is specific, M, that is measurable, A, that is acceptable, R, that is realistic, T, that is timely, E, that is extending capabilities, and R is rewarding. Any organization, either it is educational institution or it is non-educational institution, either it is a formal or informal, whatever may be the type of organization. But one of the thing is very, very important, that is the goals should be realistic. The goal should be the way in which it can be measured, it can be achieved, it can be realistic, it can be timely, right? You are thinking of the course which has been already launched 10 years back by somebody, and now you are thinking that you should go for that course. That means the things are not timely, right? Same way, rewarding, it should give a reward not only to you but all the stakeholders, starting with the students and the parents and the teachers, the institution, the government, and the other stakeholders. So the important thing here in this strategic philosophy is identify the right mission, vision, and a value statement. Now, when we are saying mission, vision, and value statement, what is mission statement? In fact, the mission statements are a written description of the purpose of the organization. Say, for example, quality education. Say, for example, excellence in education. Say, for example, education to the masses. somewhere or the other way, you are trying to specify a written description of the overall mission of the organization. And these mission should be specific. Secondly, vision statement. They are usually a compelling description of how the organization will or should operate at some point in the future and of how customers or the clients are benefiting from the organization products and services. So when you are saying vision, vision here is trying to give you the description, overall description of how organization will operate. Say, for example, the mission of the organization is excellence in education. The vision statement may be different. It may be the way in which you would try to excel in providing the education. So that would give a vision statement. And the third is a value statement. Value statement lists the overall priorities in how the organization will operate. Some people focus upon the value statement on the moral values. That is, moral values means the values that suggest overall priorities in how people ought to act in the world. Say, for example, topmost, foremost, best among the best, integrity, honesty, respect. These are different moral values, right? So, how you want to go ahead for your organization, that would be depicted in the moral values. On the other hand, you have operational values, which suggest overall priorities for the organization. For example, to expand the market or to expand the student share or to increase the efficiency or to increase the effectiveness in the delivery of the teaching, the operational values are routine in nature. So depending upon the circumstances, what you are trying to do is you're trying to analyze the situation, and then operational statements are coming up. So it's not like once you have established an operational statement and the things are over, and then it would go on and on. It's not like that. Operational value statement and the moral value statement, that is giving the overall priorities in how the organization will operate. So the three important things when we are talking about setting strategic direction, it means three things are important. That is mission statement, vision statement, and a value statement. Now the third, we said A. A here is again action planning. So the strategic action planning. Now here when we are saying action planning, it is carefully laying out how the strategic goals will be accomplished. Action planning, as we are saying action, right? So action planning here refers to actually planning of the activities that are going to be carried out by all the employees in the organization. So it often includes specifying objectives, goals, specifying results. Okay, an objective is still a goal. It may be on the scale, a smaller scale, or it can be on a larger scale. Then one of the important thing here is when we are talking about the action planning, then the responsibilities and timeliness with each objective that you have, that is very, very important. That is who needs to do what and by when, right? Many times what happens is you define a plan, right? But then you don't give a timeline, you don't give the responsibilities. Then planning might be perfect, everything is perfect, you have planned well, you have decided the timeline, you have given the activities as per the goals, but if you have not decided the responsibilities, if you have not specified the responsibilities and timeliness, then it would cause a problem. Say, for example, this year in COVID-19, also students, faculties need to teach the students and they need to complete the course. Now, which faculty would complete which course? Okay, or which faculty would conduct which activity? If it is not given responsibility, then of course, whatever plan you have made for 1 year or even 5 years, that is going to be failed. Secondly, along with the responsibility, it is very, very important to give the timeliness, that is, to give the timelines. Until unless you have a timelines, you would not be able to target the work to be finished on time. We all know that timings are very, very important. So these are the three important things that is needed to be looked into while you do the strategic planning. That is, you have to look into strategic analysis, strategic direction setting, and strategic action planning, right? So these are the three important things that any organization has to look into. In addition to this, while you do the strategic planning, another thing that is coming into picture, that is objective, tactics, and timeliness. Okay, that is, say for example, when you're saying objectives, that is talking about the goals, the ends, the end results, right? When you're talking about the strategies, it means the tactics that you are going to observe. And another thing is timeliness. So timelines along with the responsibilities is very, very important in the strategic planning, right? Again, it's common to develop an annual plan. People go for annual plan. No doubt you have mission and vision statement you have with you, but then you need to plan, you need to have a strategic goal, your strategies, your objectives, your responsibilities, your timelines, that should be done every year. No doubt the organizations has 5 years plan, but for achieving that plan at the end of the 5 year, for achieving those results, have you planned annually? That is a question mark. And so it is important to develop an annual plan well. In addition, for having a control, what happens is the strategic action planning are prepared department wise, function wise, okay, division wise, so that it can be carried out well. In addition, the budgets are also included in the strategic and the annual plan, right? Why? Because the budgets are specifying the money needed. Say for example, you have said that this year you are planning to increase the batch size, right, for your course. Okay, so say for example, the last year the batch size was 100 and now you are planning for the batch size, say 200. Fine. So what is your annual plan? How much would be the budget for the advertisement? How much would be the resources that you would require? Okay, so annually you are planning for the human resources, you would plan for the equipment you required, you would plan for the material that you would require, you may plan for the marketing activities of your course, so on and so forth. And ultimately, for each activity that you are planning, you would all usually budgets associated with the major activities over the coming year, right? So either it is cash budget or it is operation budget or it is a project budget, right? Depending upon the requirement of the organization, organizations are preparing the budget. So these are the ADA framework. Now comes a very important part, that is analytical tools and techniques. Now these tools and techniques are not only used by the businesses but any sector, whether it is higher education or any institution working in the education sector, right, or any individual, any sector need to do some of this analysis to get a better idea about how to develop the strategy. So, which are the analytical tools and techniques? Let us look into one after the other. So, the first is SWOT analysis, right? Second is a pestle analysis. Third is a Porter's five forces analysis. Fourth is a TOES analysis. Fifth is a scenario planning. Sixth is a growth share matrix. And a seventh is a balance scorecards and strategy maps. Let us try to understand each analytical tools and techniques in detail. Friends, what happens is while you are making a strategy for your own self, for your own department, for your own university, or for your own sector in which you are into. These are different techniques that can be helpful. So, what is the meaning of these techniques, one after the other? Let us try to understand. So, the first is SWOT analysis. Friends, SWOT analysis, as the name suggests, SWOT, which means strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. What we try to do is we are trying to analyze our capabilities. We are trying to analyze the situation. Previously, also, we have seen that when you formulate the strategy, while you formulate the strategy, you are trying to analyze the situation, right? And when you are saying situation, you are doing the external analysis as well as the internal factor analysis. Along with that, you have to analyze what is the strength, what is the strength of the management, ultimately what is the strength of your institution. Say for example, many a time organization is having a good human resource, right? Good faculty, I mean teaching team or non-teaching staff, that can be a strength. Or maybe sometimes infrastructure of the organization may be a strength, right? Maybe the students or maybe the location itself of the institution is a strength, right? Or it may be a weakness. So the point is, what you need to do is you have to do your own capability analysis. Your own capability analysis doesn't mean individual's capability analysis. It is talking about the capability analysis of the institution. Which are the points where the institution is good at, and which are the points where we are weak. Once you identify the weakness, what would happen is you can improve upon focusing upon those weak areas. Many a times, location is a strength for an organization or for a educational institution, but the staff that is available or the way in which it is delivered, that may be a weakness. So what is the strength and what is the weakness? On the other hand, you need to look into the opportunities and the threats. That is, you need to do the external environmental analysis, whereby you would try to look into what is an opportunity, where is an opportunity, what is, in my hand, where can I go? On the other hand, what is a threat to me, to my institution, whether it is from competitors or whether it from any other resources. So SWOT analysis would help in identifying education institutions' own strength. Okay, once you identify your strength, you can move on those direction, and you can actually remove the weaknesses. Many times you don't know what is the weakness of your institution, where is the point where you are weak. Once you do that analysis, it may happen that for the next term you can have a better strategy. Why? Because if you improve upon removing the weaknesses, it may be converted into strength someday. Same way, the threats may be converted as opportunities someday, right? So that is what the SWOT analysis is important, right? Here also you can look into, how exactly what is changing around and what to change within, right? So here I have given some example whereby, say for example, strengths to continue. What are the strengths? So say organization strength may be a good reputation, good financial support, and efficient process. But on the other hand, weakness may be problem recruiting staff in key positions or expensive strategy. On the other hand, threats may be work of a related institution has already been outsourced, and poor relationship, that can be again one of the threats. On the other hand, opportunities can be likely to merge with us, or it can be strengthening the role of the organization. So like this, if the organization identify the strength, the weaknesses, the opportunities, and the threats, then somewhere or the other way, these are the two aspects, that is weaknesses and the threats, where the organization would like to change. Okay, and once you are focusing upon this, it may happen that weakness may be converted into the strength someday, right? So after doing this positive and negative analysis and the internal and external situation analysis, you can identify and you can do the SWOT analysis, and that can give you the overall picture of your organization. Second analysis is a pestle analysis. What is the meaning of the pestle? Pestle, P here refers to the political, E refers to the economical, S refers to the social, T refers to the technological, L refers to the legal, and the E is a ecological. So ecological or environmental. Now, how does this helpful to the educational institution? So when you are in educational institution, what happens is many times, say for example, you are in a government college or government affiliated college, or you are in a state university or central university or even private universities. The rules and regulations for each of these are different. Okay, so the political goals, political ideologies, laws and policies are different. The second aspect is the economic aspect. When we are saying economic aspect, it includes inflation, economic growth, recession, employment growth, so on and so forth. Now, how this inflation is going to impact my educational institution? Say, for example, inflation may have an impact on the fee hike, okay, or maybe on the salary hike. Economic growth, say for example, if the growth of the economy is better, it may lead to better opportunities for your sector. If the economy is in recession, it may happen that your activity will go down. Okay, so the economic factor will give you an idea about how you should take an action for your sector. Third is social. When we are saying social, impact of the beliefs, taste, fashion, attitude, and work ethics is very, very important. What happens is the beliefs of the people change. Like consumer goods, say for example, the shampoos or the soaps which we are using on daily basis, our taste, our preferences changes. Our attitude toward the products changes. Same happens with the services also. Many times we like to go ahead with X type of institutions, and then many times our beliefs may change, our taste may change, our preference may change, fashion may change. So these routine factors change, lead to change and impact on our sector. Next is technology. Now, this technology, that is emergence and access to accumulation, that is ICT, information technology. This is also one of the very, very important point, right? So when you are talking about technology, then to what extent there are technological updation in the economy. Say for example, due to COVID-19, there is a emergence and there is a need of the technological upgradation. There is a need of upgrading the knowledge of developing e-content, providing the knowledge through e-media, okay, and different type of services with reference to the e-commerce, different type of softwares that you are using, right? So that is all changes due to the change in the external factor. So if there is a small change in the technological factor, it would have a great impact on your sector. So you need to understand as an educational institution that is there any technological change that has come up in the industry? If there is a change, then definitely it would impact to change in your education system and your institution system. Next is legal. Friends, legal here depicts the laws, rules, regulations, enactment, enlightenment, enforcement. Somewhere or the other way, we need to understand what does law says about that particular sector. Okay, what are the laws, what are the rules, what are the regulations for the sector in which I belong to? If I'm in education sector, what are the upcoming, say for example, UGC rules, right? Say publications rules, right? So UGC care journals. So again, the list changes. I need to observe the list. I need to observe the latest changes, and for that I may need to observe the latest changes in the higher education system so that I can take the right decision belonging to my institution. And lastly, ecological. When we are saying ecological or environmental, we are talking about the environmental factors. We are talking about the pollution. We are talking about the waste management. We are talking about the sustainable environment. So, what we need to look into is what to do to maintain a better ecological, social environment, and thus, you would try to see that better maintainability is possible. So, what we are trying to say over here is first, we say the SWOT analysis, and secondly, we are saying that it is important to do the pestle analysis because pestle framework is a very, very important for any of the business or any of the sector. So when you are in a higher education or you are in education institution, you need to analyze PESTLE well so that the future decisions that you are taking for your institution can be better and it can be better way.